We're here to send off our great friend Jim Manley, who is going to join the ship Estelle, which is in the Mediterranean right now. It's come right across Europe, stopping at ports, telling people about the situation in Palestine. The last lap will be going from Naples to Gaza, and the point of this is to break the blockade of Gaza, which Jim will tell you why they want to do that.
Today is one of those days when I am proud to be a Canadian. When I think of my fellow Canadian citizen, Jim Manley, when I was reading his biography the other day, I realized how much of the whole Canadian experience he has lived. He's been a logger, he's been a United Church minister, still is, he's been a member of Parliament, and now he is our spokesperson, or one of our spokespeople, for justice for Palestine.
One of our founders, David Heap, said, yes, you know, we're all wearing invisible life jackets. That is all the people at home who are following us closely, all of us who wish us well, all of us who wish for peace and justice in the Middle East. We will keep sailing, we will keep flying, we will keep marching, and we will keep taking buses, going on our own 2 feet until that's accomplished. Jim, I wish you fair sailing.
Thank you, Karen, for those very inspiring words. And it is important, as Karen said, for Jim to know that when he's there in that boat, and if the Israelis do come and take him, that he has all us with him in spirit. And I hope he never forgets that. So I'd like to welcome you, Jim, to come and say a few words.
I look forward to joining the Estelle on its voyage from Naples to Gaza, and I'm aware of my responsibility as the only Canadian on this international crew of volunteers. We want to bring a message of solidarity for the Palestinians of Gaza, to remind them that they are not alone in this struggle. And while we will be carrying a cargo of humanitarian aid, the basic goal of our trip is to continue pressuring the Israeli government to lift the blockade of Gaza. International aid is not a solution. It's a symptom of the problem whereby Israel keeps Gaza from developing its own economy. We are firmly committed to nonviolence, but the movement behind the Freedom Flotilla will not quit until Israel lifts the blockade. Growing public opinion around the world recognizes that the Israeli blockade is not only illegal under international law, it is also morally wrong. The blockade deliberately denies 1.6 million people of the essentials of life, essentials that we all take for granted: adequate food, water, and shelter. It denies children the right to an adequate education. It denies access to health care, in many cases, because the amount of medicine that is able to get in is very limited. It denies people the right to make a living through international trade, and even trade with their fellow Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. It denies them the freedom to live with dignity. If we believe in human rights, we must be prepared to take a stand when these rights are flagrantly violated. It's time for Canadian politicians and the Canadian people to speak up against this illegal and inhuman blockade. As part of Canada's contribution, the Estelle will be carrying an anchor for Gaza's Ark, which, like the Estelle, is a project of the International Freedom Flotilla Coalition. The Gaza Ark project is rebuilding a boat within Gaza to carry Palestinian goods to the outside world. In this way, it will challenge the blockade from the inside in the same way that the Estelle and other boats challenge it from the outside. While I want to thank you for your interest and support, I know that even more, the Palestinians of Gaza thank you for your support and your solidarity. Thank you. You want to say anything?
I'm asked if there's risk involved, and am I worried? And yes, there is risk involved, but I've told people that the risk that the people on the Estelle face is not as great as the daily risk of living in Gaza. And the Palestinian people have been subjected to an incredible level of violence on the part of Israeli authorities, who can roll in the tanks at any time they choose, and who shoot people who try to access their farmland during the night, because there's a wide buffer zone that prevents farmers from using the most fertile land. And there's a blockade against fishing. The Palestinians of Gaza used to fish right out to the 20-mile limit, then it got cut back until now they have a 3-mile limit, and even people on shore get targeted. So yes, there's risk, but my fantasy is that he'll be in Gaza for his birthday, and we'll look forward to celebrating it when he gets home.
So thank you. If any of you have any questions, we can try to answer them.